The possible existence of the Yeti, Sasquatch, and other abominable snowman forms has long been a point of conjecture among travelers, naturalists, and scientists. While most of this evidence is circumstantial and inconclusive as yet, it provides a tantalizing mystery filled with enough interest and promise to warrant the attention of both serious students and casual readers.
Very possible knock that direction.
There are no abominable snowmen. There are no Sasquatches. There are no Bigfeet.
If I told you to visualize Bigfoot, what images would appear in your head? A large, mystical nature spirit? Maybe something a little goofy, like a brown gorilla smoking a joint. Or perhaps you imagine a secret horror lurking in the forests of North America that's better off remaining hidden. Most of you probably picture something like this: a humanoid ape with shaggy fur, a wrinkled face, and iconically gratuitous grippers. Depictions of the mythical Sasquatch are everywhere in modern culture. You can find the guy on mugs, t-shirts, socks, and even air fresheners.
It's an air freshener. What does it smell like?
These depictions of an animal yet to be confirmed as anything but fiction are derived from one of the most well-known home videos in human history. The now famous Patterson-Gimlin film was, at the time of its publication in 1967, considered nothing more than an elaborate hoax dreamt up by two desperate filmmakers hoping to make a name for themselves. But, according to their own testimonies, these men believed beyond any shadow of a doubt that what they documented was a never-before-seen species of North American forest ape. They were not the first to have encountered such a creature. Stories of hikers, woodsmen, and other macho men coming face to face with some kind of massive, upright ape were something of a pulp sensation in the 50s and 60s. The men's magazine True published more than one titillating tale on the topic by the author Ivan T. Sanderson, and it was one such story that first interested Roger Patterson in the legend. To the author of these stories, as with the filmmakers behind the Patterson-Gimlin film, Bigfoot was not just a fictional topic dreamt up to sell magazines. Ivan T. Sanderson was a biologist with a degree from Cambridge University. He is best known for his contributions to the field of cryptozoology, that is, the study of animals not recognized as real by mainstream scientists. Also, and this isn't really relevant, but his father was a whiskey manufacturer who was somehow killed by a rhinoceros. Like, how could a man who has experienced something like that possibly be convinced that Bigfoot doesn't exist? In 1961, Sanderson published a book with the snappy title Abominable Snowmen: Legend Come to Life, the story of subhumans on 5 continents from the early Ice Age until today. This is a fascinating read, and I'm going to link the archive scan so that anyone who's interested can read it themselves. It feels surreal looking at it in 2026 when the topic of Bigfoot has evolved from a niche, pseudoscientific subject to a cultural phenomenon. There are so many contemporary pieces of Bigfoot media out there. Expedition X, Monster Quest, Willow Creek, The Proof is Out There, and my personal favorite, Finding Bigfoot.
I do think there's a squatch in these woods.
Like so many people, I find myself enamored by the legend of the Bigfoot. I enjoy the mystery of it, the communities it creates, and the countless works of art that it's inspired. For me, the existence of the Sasquatch is irrelevant. It's real enough to have people talking about it for the past century, and probably longer than that. And in this video, I'd like to carry on the tradition. I'd like to take a shot at reimagining the iconic Bigfoot. If we can't prove what it looks like, then we can't say what it doesn't. The Patterson-Gimlin film's depiction of the creature is the most famous, but what's to stop us from coming up with a shiny new look for the legendary North American ape? And I do mean us. Over a month ago, I made a call for art in our Discord community, asking you beautiful little Subjectively fans to show me what you think Bigfoot might look like, be it scientifically plausible or just plain goofy. We're going to look at a few of our favorites from the countless submissions we received and revel in the illustrator's playground that is the legend of the Sasquatch. And if you're an illustrator looking to improve your skills to draw an even better Sasquatch, then you're going to love the sponsor of today's video, Artwod. Artwod is an online learning platform designed to help artists of all skill levels grow and refine their art. Artwod offers a huge variety of lessons that can help you master the fundamentals or hone your ability with more challenging, complicated subjects. Even better, Artwod actually makes learning fun thanks to their interactive, gamified lessons that can be completed directly on your computer or tablet. No artist is ever done learning, and that includes myself. This week, I decided to explore Artwod's Intro to Painting course to practice my rendering basics. The lesson begins with exercises designed to help you understand value relationships, which are the backbone of painterly art. Intro to Painting does a great job of making you think carefully about how both harsh and soft fields of light and shadow combine to describe 3D form. And the course's instant side-by-side feedback makes it easy to identify your mistakes so that you can learn faster. Not gonna lie, I wish I had access to something like this back when I first started experimenting with digital art. In addition to their professionally crafted lessons, Artwod also offers weekly challenges that test both your drawing skills and creative problem solving, which present great opportunities to put what you've learned from the coursework into practice. Artwod's community hub is also a really cool resource for connecting with fellow students to provide and receive critique. The Community Hub has built-in tools for providing red lines and drawovers, and also provides guidelines to leaving constructive feedback, which I think is very important. Right now, Artwod is running a big discount on their yearly plans, and if you use the link in my description, you can secure 30% off of your premium plan. Make sure you check out my link ASAP if you want to level up your art learning with Artwod. Thank you to Artwod for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to Bigfoot. The way I see it, there are two kinds of Bigfoot. There's the speculative biologist's Bigfoot, a well-researched scientific explanation for a species of large ape that has eluded mainstream science for whatever reason, but could still plausibly exist. This is the kind of creature described by scientists like Ivan T. Sanderson, or TV personalities like Matt Moneymaker.
Their legs are shorter comparatively than humans. So if the legs were the same length, that would make the figure at least 6 inches taller than Bobo.
This is a Sasquatch on film, and I can't be 100% sure.
Then there's the mythological Bigfoot. This version of the character is inspired more by the folklore that has popularized it, from the myths and legends of the Sisteles people in the Pacific Northwest to the timeless depiction of the Sasquatch as seen in the film Harry and the Hendersons. Here, science takes a backseat to symbolism. Bigfoot is not a species or a race or even a singular living being. It is an enduring message that embodies the mystery, might, and majesty of nature. I want to illustrate one of each, the scientifically plausible Bigfoot and a mythological one. You can decide at the end of this video which one you think best suits the legends. I'm going to start with the speculative biologist's Bigfoot, because even when creating a fantasy creature, I like to take inspiration from real-world biology. But how could we possibly make such an outlandish tale as that of the Sasquatch seem believable? What real-world science could even begin to lend credibility to the legend? Is it possible that a species of great ape, as surely the Sasquatch must be, could live amongst humans for so long without ever being captured or killed? As a matter of fact, there was a species of great ape that had not been described by scientists until the 21st century. The Tapanuli orangutan, while it had been documented in the wild before, could not be confirmed as a new species until a study was published in 2017. Now, granted, this might not sound as sensational as discovering an entirely new group of animals. We already knew that orangutans exist, but this case, among many others, show how there are still plenty of secrets being held by nature that humans have yet to fully understand. It also gives us a good starting point for our scientifically plausible Bigfoot design. Among the many members of the primate order, only one family is known to have species that grow anywhere close to the size described by those who have claimed to encounter Bigfoot. These are the hominids, or the great apes. The family consists of 4 genera: the gorillas, the pan, the pongos, and the homos. Yeah, I'm talking to you great ape.
We're all homos. Homo sapiens.
Homo is the only genus known to be obligate bipeds, that is, we walk on 2 legs all the time. Our great ape cousins have been known to walk on their hind legs, even for extended periods of time, but the orangutans, chimps, gorillas, and bonobos have all evolved for quadrupedal locomotion. This is evident by the way different apes' feet have evolved. Gorillas, pans, and pongos may share a lot of physical features with humans, but our feet are very different. In humans, our hallux, or big toe, has grown large and sits at the very front of our foot. This gives us the ability to balance the entire weight of our body upright and allows for modes of locomotion like sprinting, walking, and jumping. In other hominids, the hallux sits much farther back on the foot and is effectively a thumb. It is opposable and can grab and grip much like our hands can. This allows the mostly arboreal apes to hold fast to branches and vines, meaning they climb quickly and with ease. This is one of the key distinctions that separates us from the rest of the hominids. That and inventing capitalism. So, could it be that our supposed Bigfoot is a long-lost member of the hominid family? Did Sasquatch migrate across the land bridge connecting Asia and America alongside Homo sapiens? Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We are the only apes known to have inhabited North America. The entire hominid family first appeared in what is now Africa and spread out across Asia over millions of years. Only humans went as far as the easternmost corner of what is now Russia, crossing the Bering Strait land bridge some 20,000 years ago. If there is another species of ape in North America, it would have migrated from Asia before the sea levels rose. This could mean our theoretical Bigfoot had already inhabited the northernmost regions of what is now Canada and the United States before we got here, or perhaps it evolved alongside us as the hominids slowly conquered the globe. Stories of great hairy men are not unheard of, even among the first peoples of North America. As mentioned before, the Sisteles people have stories of Saskets, which roughly translates to hairy men in the Halkomelem language. Now, granted, similar stories of unusually large and frightening humanoids exist throughout almost every human culture across the globe, and these stories are easily dismissed as nothing more than myth and legend. But perhaps there is some credibility to these accounts. The word orangutan originates from the Malay language. Orang, meaning person, and hutan, meaning forest. It's thought that the ancient people of Malaysia used this term not only to describe actual forest-dwelling humans, but the quite similar-looking ape species that shared their land. Perhaps there was another genus of great ape that shared North America with the Homo sapiens, but was outcompeted and driven to extinction like so many other Pleistocene species. Stories of the Saskets persist in the descendants of those humans who had actually encountered them, but any evidence of their existence is now fossilized and buried, waiting to be discovered by modern science. It's hard to imagine a living species that has yet to be discovered by humans, but we have no idea just how many prehistoric animals remain lost to time. Gigantopithecus, a prehistoric hominid that lived up until about 200,000 years ago, is only known from a few jaws and a handful of scattered teeth. From these limited fossils, scientists are able to estimate its size, averaging about 7 feet tall when standing upright and weighing somewhere between 400 and 650 pounds. That's a big monkey. And yet, all we have to prove it ever existed at all are fossils big enough to sneak out of the museum in a Trader Joe's shopping bag. Similarly, my scientifically plausible Sasquatch was once a living species, but has since been driven to extinction, maybe as recently as a few thousand years ago. We haven't found any evidence of it yet because all that remains are fossils, if there are any remains that have been preserved. The only semblance of their existence persists in scattered accounts from ancient people passed down from generation to generation, slowly shifting from reality into myth. Though information about the species is limited, this is what we know. Saskets sanderson, known colloquially as Sasquatch or Bigfoot, is a particularly old member of the hominid family, diverging from the rest of the Pongonese subfamily about 8 million years ago. Other species in its genus include the Yeti, Saskets burri, and the skunk ape, Saskets appalachia. Their closest living relatives are the orangutans, and it is thought that they shared some physical features such as large flanges on the males and reddish fur. However, the Sasquatch were significantly larger than any living orangutan species. The males could grow to be over 7 feet tall when standing upright, and could weigh around 500 to 600 pounds. Females were considerably smaller, reaching heights of around 5.5 feet and weighing between 350 and 500 pounds. Notably, Sasquatch were thought to have been entirely terrestrial, exchanging the ability to climb trees for weight and bulk that allowed them to stand their ground against prehistoric North American predators. They typically lived in large, familial troops similar to modern-day gorillas, with a singular male that was able to mate with a harem of females. This communal living was thought to be another survival technique, as several adult Sasquatch posed a significant challenge to even the most deadly of Pleistocene predators. They were not only strong, but intelligent, thought to have used tools to hunt, fish, and forage for food, as well as to fend off predators. Rocks, tree limbs, and even logs could be used to scare off a perceived threat. Dominant males sported bright colors on their faces that signified their leadership. These colors made for a fearsome display that helped them defend their families from rival Sasquatch or from predators. Females, on the other hand, had dark skin and browner fur that helped them blend in with their environments. Their diet consisted mostly of vegetation: berries, bark, leaves, and roots. Unlike their tropical cousins, they couldn't rely on a ready supply of nutrient-rich fruits, and during the winter months, they would likely have to supplement their diet with meat. Consequently, their hunting and foraging habits were similar to that of another species of hominid that shared the continent of North America with them, Homo sapiens. It is thought that Saskets sandersons would have encountered Homo sapiens frequently, though no conclusive evidence supports this. Early humans might have even hunted Sasquatch, though they surely wouldn't have made an easy mark. More likely, competition for similar food sources would have reduced the range of the Sasquatch until their population had shrunk to a fraction of its original scale. It is thought that the last Sasquatch may have gone extinct as recently as 1,000 years ago. Oral traditions tell of large, hairy men that once roamed the forest and shared their land with humans. These tales have inspired myths and hoaxes claiming that the animals still live, though many reconstructions more closely resembled costume humans than any other species of ape. It is possible that peaceful coexistence occurred between some populations of humans and Sasquatch, but ultimately the apes were driven to extinction by their bipedal cousins. Similarly, other members of the genus, such as the Yeti and the skunk ape, lost their evolutionary arms races against the humans that they shared territory with. My version of a scientifically plausible Bigfoot tells a somewhat sad story of evolution, interspecies relationships, and the impact of the human race on our planet. Even before we were melting the ozone layer and dumping plastic into the sea, we helped bring about the demise of countless plants and animal species, including many other species of hominids and even other species of humans. Either intentionally or unintentionally, humans are able to greatly impact the world around them. We're intelligent, resourceful, and as competitive as any other animal. Our earliest ancestors did a phenomenal job at adapting to survive in almost every environment they settled, and this often came at the expense of other species' success. Now, our awareness of our impact on the world presents us with a choice. Do we continue to embrace our primal nature as animals, to outcompete every other species we share our world with, or will we be able to break free from the cycle and become more than just another mass extinction?
Okay.
That got a little heavy, didn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to bring the mood down, but it's hard to talk about evolution without mentioning extinction. I hope that if stories like this do affect you, that you take the time and the effort to be that change that you want to see in the world. I know, it sounds corny, but maybe in this age of cynicism and media illiteracy, we need a little more sentimentality and a little less ambiguity. The good news is, I like to balance out the heavy stuff with fun stuff, so my next Bigfoot is going to be more on the positive side of things. Unlike my scientifically plausible Bigfoot, my mythological Bigfoot isn't really limited by reality. This character would take inspiration from human culture, the beauty of nature, and the excitement of the unknown. To some people, Bigfoot is a mystery waiting to be solved. For others, the mystery itself is what makes Bigfoot so compelling. The value of a myth doesn't come from how accurate it is or how possible it may be. Santa Claus doesn't persist in human culture because anyone thinks he's real. Not that he isn't real. He totally is. Ask your mom. He embodies childlike wonder, the spirit of generosity, and that special magic you remember feeling year after year. These things are very real. Likewise, the legend of the Sasquatch gets people excited about exploring the great outdoors. It gives us a reason to immerse ourselves in nature at a time when human civilization seems to try harder and harder to distance itself from it. Bigfoot connects people. It gives us common ground and serves as a talking point that can unify humans from all walks of life. Just look at our Redesigning Bigfoot contest. Hundreds of submissions from people of all ages and backgrounds, all excited to share their perspectives on a topic that they could all, in some capacity, relate to. This is what my mythical Bigfoot will be. The physical embodiment of the great outdoors, that feeling of the sun shining through cedar branches and the sound of a brook babbling somewhere nearby. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, the abominable snowman, whatever you might want to call it, it doesn't really care. It's been around long before humans, and it will persist even when the last square acre of forest has been cleared. It knows the trees will return. It roams the wilderness of North America from Florida to Alaska, taking up residence in dark caves and sunny clearings, hidden but not lost. The birds that spread the seeds nest in its matted fur, and the wolves that cull the deer follow closely behind. Mushrooms sprout from its footprints, and the trees that break the soil grow tall and strong where it walks, and the air is cleaner and smells like rain. Those who have only glimpsed it strive in vain to see it again, but the few who truly know it keep it secret. It may be that it watched you quietly as you reclined in your lawn chair or tended to your garden. A surprisingly human smile creased its wrinkled face. For a time, it thought of humans as just another animal, a product of nature that lived and died like any other. Then, it knew them. It saw their tools and their homes and their works of stone, wood, and beads, and a sense of wonder overcame it. Here there may be another creature that did more than just exist. Humans looked at the river and saw themselves. They saw the trees above them and the grass beneath their feet. They gave the animals names. They told stories and sang songs that praised the earth and the sky and the humans that came before them. It came to them and thanked them, for it no longer felt alone in the world. Time went on, and the people changed. There were more and more every day, different people with different dreams that saw the world very differently. The forest was fuel, the river an engine. Reverence, perhaps not, but it knew they valued nature for what she gave them. At least, it hoped. Only recently has it felt the need to hide. It can't talk to the humans anymore. They don't listen. They flash a screen and hold sunlight and green trees in their pockets, bring it home to show to friends and strangers, and then forget. It still believes they love the trees. It sees their cities and their stone monuments, and they reach up to the skies like a jagged gray forest. They miss the trees. They come in droves to see the wonders of nature, and it watches them with hope. They yearn for the sun and the air and the birdsong. Their homes are made of glass, and they forgot what it was their grandfathers feared. Sit for a while, one evening in spring. The traffic and crowds won't go away, you cannot make them. But the grass grows through the cracks in the street, and the mice scurry among the growing shadows. The sun is still here. Its warmth beckons the green, and it grows to spite the gray. You planted a seed in your window, and it sprouts and smells of new life. It sees you, and it smiles. It ponders the glass in your hand, and approaches. Silently it sits beside you, and the birds follow and chirp happily. "What is that?" it asks you. "Cider," you reply. "Want a bottle?" "Beautiful." It admires the color of the drink as the sunlight shines through the glass. It takes a sip and grins. You create such wonderful things. So, those are my takes on Bigfoot. The man, the myth, the legend. But I'm just one guy. What does Bigfoot look like to you? I asked this question to our community of fans and artists, and boy, did they have some awesome answers for me. At first, I thought this was going to be a contest where I picked like 5 winners and showcased them in this video, but after going through them all, Claire and I decided we couldn't narrow it down. We want to celebrate the sheer volume of participants we had for this contest and take the whole winning or losing element out of it. Right now, I just want to share the artwork that really made me smile, and as much as I wish I could share them all with you right now, there are just too many to cram into one video. So be sure to join our Discord and check out the Redesigning Bigfoot contest channel to see all of the amazing artwork that these fans have made. The Discord user Alladite created this artwork of what they call the Banded Cloverhide. This all-female version of Bigfoot lives in Ireland, not North America, inspiring medieval artwork and legends of giants and trolls. Alladite even created a musical track to accompany their illustration, which is playing right now. The user Galzilla took a very different route with her version of Bigfoot. Instead of being an entirely new species, this Bigfoot is actually a unique condition that affects black-tailed jackrabbits in the Pacific Northwest. The hairs grow rapidly, causing them to reach heights of up to 6 feet tall. This sudden physical development means the hares lose their ability to hop, forcing them to adopt a lumbering gait using only their back legs. What one thought to be a massive ape walking upright through the woods may in fact have been a malformed rabbit of unusually massive size. Cleabastard got biblical with their interpretation of Bigfoot, literally. According to the description that accompanied their piece, there is a Mormon folktale that claims the legendary Bigfoot is actually Cain. You know, the guy from the Bible who killed his brother? Forced into exile by God, Cain still wanders the earth. Hairy, masculine, and strangely attractive, but so divorced from humanity that most who see him would mistake him for an ape before they recognized a fellow man. User Candied Ink's version of Bigfoot isn't from Earth at all. He's an alien prankster inspired by vaporwave music who loves to mess with humans using his less than legal cloaking device. He may be a bit of a troublemaker, but his antics are mostly harmless. He even takes it upon himself to intervene when less friendly aliens make attempts at human lives. A quick tonal shift takes us to this fearsome creature created by Discord user Pink. Their Sasquatch is an eldritch deity that stalks ancient forests and despises what humans have become. It captures unwary travelers, consumes them whole, then spits them out as Bigfeet, large, hairy humanoid creatures completely unaware of their origins. If they are removed from the forest in which they were transformed, they revert from their living, hairy form back into their true shape, a lifeless human corpse. User JF created a Bigfoot that's not an ape or even a primate, but a species of giant ground sloth. Like the extinct Tasmanian tiger, sightings of the animal are scarce but not unheard of. Large, seemingly bipedal, and covered in a thick coat of fur, one could see how a person might misconstrue this massive sloth for a giant humanoid ape. According to the writing that accompanied this piece, scientists are still unsure if these sightings truly confirm the existence of a once thought to be extinct megafauna species. Dancing the line between fantasy and speculative evolution, user Dave the Rat created this big-footed troll as a part of a larger world-building project. Fearsome though they may be, these beasts mostly eat termites and nectar, but are more than capable of flattening a human like a pancake. A bit of a look but don't go anywhere near type of situation. Some submissions got a little multimedia with it. Raimi Cat did this gorgeous illustration of an encounter between their Sasquatch character and a lone hiker. To accompany this piece, they also created a reference sheet complete with animations like this charming walk cycle and the Sasquatch version of the no bitches meme. The artist said that this project was a way for them to practice some new techniques like using Blender to create a base for animations. This submission by Instagram user Pindog1 was an actual real-life plush created by hand. Their version of Bigfoot was a surviving Neanderthal that roamed the earth for millennia until he finally found a sense of inner peace. Not only do I love this story, but I would pay money to own my own Bigfoot plushie. I'm always so impressed when I see 3D art like this because it feels so unattainable to me. There are so many other great submissions like Sasha by Siren, this forest spirit design by Colbius, the giant ground owl by Cellulosaurus, this freaky monkey by Babble with Jam, and many, many more. I cannot stress this enough. Go to our Discord and check out all of these submissions. It's more than worth your time. I had so much fun making this video, from researching the origins of Bigfoot to going through your submissions and, of course, designing a Bigfoot of my own. To me, there's so much value in a myth like that of the Sasquatch. It brings people together, it gets them excited about nature, and it produces all kinds of cool, weird, and beautiful artwork. It also creates stuff like this, which, you know, is beautiful in its own way. I want to make more videos like this where we can explore a topic together and create artwork to share with one another. I'm thinking next time we populate the back rooms? I've been looking for an excuse to talk about the back rooms in a video, and it might be fun to create some creatures that dwell there. If the Bigfoot contest was any indication, we're gonna have some really good designs. For now, thank you all so much for watching. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. Another big thank you to the sponsor of this video, Artwod. If you want to take a closer look at the artwork that I made for this video, I'm uploading them to my Unveil profile, and I will link that in the description. You can also purchase the digital brushes that I use in my artwork for Photoshop and Procreate. That link is also in the description. I can't tell you how inspiring it is to see your work, and I want to keep seeing more. Stay curious, stay inspired, keep creating, and I'll see you all in the next video. I asked this question to our community of fans and artists, and boy, did they have some awesome answers for me.